Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another first try. My name is Nick, and today we are going to take a look at White Knight. More specifically, the PC version of it. Two things I'd like to talk about before going into the game are, firstly, my usual disclosing remarks, which state that I've indeed received a review copy for this game. And secondly, I'd like to point out that this is in fact not an indie game. It is published by Activision, so yeah, not really what I was supposed to look at in this series, but I'd say that looking at a game that is published by a more prominent company isn't necessarily a bad thing. White Knight is a horror game in the film noir style developed by Awesome Studio. And no, I actually did not come up with a pun, nor did I use more time to think about one instead of playing the game. Anyway, I'd like to outline the story of it. You had a car crash and you got hurt. The only thing close to the site of the accident is a mansion. Looking for help, you venture into it, but something does not seem quite right about it. This, by the way, is a nice segue to what I want to talk about next, which is the atmospheric aspect of this game. As with most games of this genre, you get the full experience out of it when you play it in a dark room with little to no noise surrounding you. Playing it this way made me feel very uncomfortable almost the entire time. The background noise, the choice of music, as well as the camera position makes up a great recipe to strike fear into your heart, even though there is nothing threatening on the screen. One might say it is a horrific experience. Sorry about that. The next thing I will cover is the gameplay. The game is more on the narrative atmospheric side, so overly complex mechanics are not to be expected. That what is there though is fairly nice and simple. You have to create light, whether it be by lighting one of your matches or by turning on the light. You have to face an object in order to interact with it, or you have to do just that in the right order in order to solve puzzles.
I need an ambulance.
So far, the puzzles have been relatively easy. However, with that constant tension that is built by the aforementioned atmosphere, it gets harder and harder to focus and to do things right. As Ophelia states, I've so far only experienced defeat, quote unquote, by standing in the dark too long. Next I'd like to cover performance and the options menu. Let's take a look at the options first. We can choose the language of the voice acting. However, we can't change the language of the text in the sub-menu that is called text. That is weird. Then, we can rebind the controls to our likings. That's always nice to see. In the audio options, we can change the output device and the volume. Even though there are not different sliders for sounds, voice acting, etc., I have to say that the balance of the volume is pretty good, so that compensates for the lack of said options. And graphics wise, we don't have a lot to see. Full screen, VSync and AA on a rough, and the resolution, which features the option to change the display and features quite a nice range of resolutions. However, I prefer that to be a drop-down menu, to be honest. So let's talk performance, shall we? First off, the game is capped at 30 FPS. It is not too bad in this case, however, when you are releasing your game on PC, why not make the best out of it? I would even say that a higher FPS could help the atmosphere and the tension of the game. There is also the little problem of the application randomly restarting itself when you close it, but apart from that I haven't seen any major flaws with the game performance wise. The last thing I'd like to bring up is the presentation. It takes quite a bit to get accustomed to the art style, but in my opinion it is a very good choice. The animation quality and fidelity is alright, however, the camera sometimes tends to having issues finding you. Concerning the audio, I've nothing to complain about. As I've said before, the balance of the volume is great. The soundtrack is very good, and one thing I'd especially like to point out is that the music in the pause and opening screen is reacting to your actions. So from that perspective, I am impressed. So, it is evaluation time! Time for a conclusion. The game is a pretty good experience in and of itself. If you truly follow the advice of playing it in the dark, it makes a good recipe that is sure to give you a frightening aftertaste. It is 15 euros or your original equivalent. However, it can be completed relatively fast. I guess you can go for all collectibles, but otherwise there isn't really a replay value there. Therefore, my caveat applies that if you crave horror games, you should get it immediately. Otherwise, I'd say wait for a sale and pick it up then. My name has been Silent. Nick, ladies and gentlemen. And White Knight made it first try. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you guys next time.